Greetings from the Office of Indigent Defense Services. I am Amanda Bunch, IDS Communications Specialist, and I'm here with Brian Jones, Chair of the IDS Commission. We're bringing you news of some important changes to IDS rules and billing policies that will be effective January 1, 2026. There are 3 substantial policy updates for non-capital criminal and non-criminal case types. Chair Jones, will you tell us a little bit about this?
Thank you, Amanda. I am Brian Jones, Chair of the IDS Commission. I am a private attorney based in Morganton, and I take court-appointed cases in addition to practicing criminal defense at my firm, the Law Office of Brian F. Jones. I understand the challenges and demands of doing indigent work. I appreciate what each indigent defender does, and I understand firsthand how important it is to be paid promptly for the quality services you provide in courtrooms across North Carolina. Part of the mission of IDS Commission is to see to it that attorneys who do indigent defense are compensated in a timely manner. With the implementation of the Online Attorney State Invoice System, or OASIS, IDS staff can issue payments to private assigned counsel within 30 days of invoice. And with payments being issued so quickly, there is a greater need to be able to know how much the agency can spend in any given quarter, and to keep up with the flurries of invoices that are being submitted for payment in greater and greater volumes. To balance the faster payments and the need to stay on top of expenditures from the PAC fund, IDS has developed 3 major policy changes in response. Amanda, will you highlight those for our audience?
Yes, thank you, Chair Jones. Because attorneys are being paid so much more quickly, the first and perhaps the most significant update involves the new requirement for attorneys to submit their fee apps and use OASIS to invoice IDS for payment within 90 days of disposition instead of the 1-year deadline that has been in place for so long. We want you to know that language was added to clarify that the granting of fee application deadline waivers is possible in limited and serious circumstances that are beyond the control of the attorney. For example, medical and health reasons, safety issues, natural disasters, and other force majeure. The second major change involves record keeping. As of January 1, IDS will require attorneys who do court-appointed work to maintain their timekeeping records and ensure they can be made available to IDS for review, if needed, for up to 5 years, strictly for auditing purposes. As stewards of taxpayers' money, it's vital that if ever there is a question about billing, appropriate records of hours worked will save you in an audit. And most of you already maintain your billing records as part of your client files. And the third major policy update involves a new requirement for attorneys who do court-appointed work to set up direct deposit, also known as ePay. IDS fiscal staff are seeing an increase in instances where paper checks have been stolen and altered to make them payable to someone other than whom the checks were intended for. Direct deposit not only protects you from check washing, but it's a much faster and more secure method of payment overall. Direct deposit is an added benefit to you because per the state controller and AOC policy, ePay is part of daily operations, and paper checks are only issued twice per week.
Keep in mind that all current revisions do not apply to capital appeals or capital cases, only to non-capital criminal and non-criminal cases. And there are quite a few minor updates in addition to the 3 sweeping changes Amanda just mentioned. But most of those involve polishing, clarifying, or streamlining the language of existing policy. For example, IDS aimed to make all updates more palatable by including charts and footnotes with guidance to help you adjust to the changes. IDS staff also upgraded some of the reimbursement policies to better align them with what attorneys really need out in the field. For example, we added a time conversion chart for tenths of an hour and samples or examples of an acceptable time log as a reference for you. There are also updates to out-of-house copy reimbursements, specifically the actual cost of out-of-house copies or those made at commercial copy centers. Those are now reimbursable at cost with a receipt as long as the receipt is attached to the fee application. And the digital storage policy was updated to provide for reimbursement of USB flash drives up to $30 each and an external hard drives for up to $75 each. We are looking out for you, and we are asking you to become familiar with all the new billing and expense policy updates. The IDS Commission appreciates the hard work by IDS staff, and we acknowledge their efforts and gains in modernizing operation and responding proactively to the increased efficiencies brought on by the new OASIS payment system. Attorneys are being paid faster than ever before, and many districts are seeing an uptick in attorneys joining court-appointed rosters as a result of the new payment system.
Here is what we need you to do. Please scan this QR code or type in the URL you see here into any web browser. You will find clean versions of the updated policies, as well as change tables to indicate where the revisions to old policy occurred. Before January 1, it will be very important for you to review and familiarize yourself with these changes, as some of them will impact your ways of doing business and the way you bill.
The IDS Commission is confident that the implementation of these policy revisions will ensure that IDS can continue to pay attorneys in a timely manner. The new 90-day deadline to submit fee applications and invoice IDS for services is a win-win. You get paid faster, and the agency can monitor its cash flow much more closely to make sure that private assigned counsel are paid year-round. And after attorneys adjust to logging the hours they spend on each case, and after we all reap the benefits of every attorney using direct deposit, the Commission remains hopeful to eventually be in a position with the state legislature to achieve the ultimate goal and ever-present wish of attorneys and IDS staff and commissioners all over North Carolina, and that is to raise pay rates across the board.
We thank you for taking time to listen to this message about the important changes to IDS rules and billing policies. We appreciate your attention and all you do to ensure that everyone, everywhere, receives quality legal representation when faced with charges or time in court, regardless of their ability to pay.
Don't delay. Go online today and review the important changes to IDS rules and billing policies. The goal is for these revised rules to reflect the reality of practice in 2025 and the reality of IDS operations in 2025. Keep up the good work and take good care of yourselves.